This is the story of why I decided to give away the most important Mac to this YouTube channel. There comes a time in every YouTuber's career where you have to do a giveaway of some sort, and normally that's related to a sponsorship agreement or just because you need to clear out your studio. When I gave away this M1 Mac Mini earlier this month, it was for neither of those reasons, although the studio does need a bit of a clear out. Today, I'm going to tell you why I gave it away, what this thing means to me, and, well, what's replaced. Well, you know what's replacing it if you've been watching these videos before, but I'll give you a reminder of the amazing thing that is replacing this machine. But firstly, a quick word from today's sponsor, which is RoboForm. Now, RoboForm is a password manager, which I'm switching to, I can finally confirm, from 1Password. If you're not currently using any form of password manager, you might be getting fed up with forgetting your passwords, coming up with new secure passwords, and moving those passwords around your different devices. Thankfully, RoboForm fixes all of that for you incredibly cost effectively. And one of the best things about RoboForm is that it works across my Mac, Windows machines, iOS, Android. And the other great thing about RoboForm is that they have a complete no breach history. They've never been hacked, which gives me personally massive peace of mind. RoboForm also offers a true one-click login, which has been absolutely game-changing. That means there's no long passwords to be typed out or loads of clicks just to get into my favorite websites. I can also share those login details, so if I need a member of my family to get into something, I can give them it through RoboForm completely securely. And without bringing the tone down too much, RoboForm has one of the best emergency access features, so if anything does happen to me, I know that a trusted family member can still get in and access my stuff. And if anything does go wrong, I do have access to 24/7 support from RoboForm, which is fantastic. So if you want to find out more, just click that link in the description. And if you do that, you'll find out they're offering a very nice discount at the moment. So yeah, go and check it out. I am the sort of person who gets attached to technology, but it has to be for a very specific reason. For instance, my iPhone doesn't count because as technically amazing as this thing is, it's a bit boring. And yes, as I've said in the past, it plays a very important role in the production process for this business because of the Apple ecosystem. But again, that's not a reason to get really attached to it emotionally. There's also the Apple Watch Ultra, which I have said numerous times was Apple's best product of 2022. But I'm still not really attached to it. I just find it absolutely fascinating, but if I forget to put it on and then leave the house, I don't drive back to go and get it. And even the brilliant M1 MacBook Air and more recently the M2 MacBook Air, both of which I think are the best laptops you can buy, I'm just not emotionally attached to them either. However, the M1 Mac Mini is a different story. I am genuinely attached to this computer, and it's for one very simple reason. I edited over 80 videos on this M1 Mac Mini for this YouTube channel, and they were pretty much the first 80 videos I ever made. And this thing absolutely wiped the floor with that process. If you bear in mind that I was doing 4K video editing with 10-bit footage from this camera on a computer that cost just over £1,000, that is so impressive. So one, it kept my costs down, and two, the ease with which I got through those edits made the entire production process so straightforward. It just meant that I could get those videos out quickly, efficiently, and if you bear in mind that back then I was juggling this channel with my old business, I needed something that could support that. So this innocuous little computer helped me build this business and get it to a stage where I could go full-time as a content creator. Also, my audience, you guys, or most of you, seem to absolutely love this thing. Whenever I make a video about it, it always performs well, and the comments are always so positive about the M1 Mac Mini. Why on earth give it away? There aren't many downsides about being a tech reviewer. In fact, there aren't any. But one of the things that I do struggle with is how quickly I have to get through devices. And what I mean by that is that I'm in the fortunate position where I get to try a lot of different stuff. So I change smartphones, particularly Android smartphones, like the wind, and I change my iPhone every year. Now that isn't a normal ownership experience. And the same thing goes with computers. I've got more Macs than anyone realistically needs. But this is my job. I have to get this stuff. I have to to try it, I have to review it, and I have to give you an opinion on it. That does mean occasionally I have to say goodbye to very, very good devices. Truth be told, I could still be using this computer now to edit these videos, but I'm not, because that role is now being undertaken by the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is sitting just over there, and that demoted the M1 Mac Mini to being, well, an ornament. I did have some plans for it. I thought, why not encase it in a frame and stick it on the wall over there somewhere just to pay homage to it? Or why not use it as the central piece of my music production studio, which I very nearly did until Apple did something else, which I'll explain in a moment. And that's when I decided to give it away. So, as you might guess, picking a winner for this M1 Mac Mini was quite a tricky task. And this was compounded by the problem that running a competition as a content creator is always a bit of a risky business. Because you invite people to get involved in a competition by following you, in this instance on Instagram, and you know that most of them are going to come across, not win, and then disappear. Thankfully, most people have stuck around so far, so if you did that, thank you so much. And also, if you got involved in that competition, I can't thank you enough. I had so many entrants, it was incredibly difficult picking the correct one. And the only thing that I asked was, what do you want to do with this M1 Mac Mini? I wasn't looking for any kind of outlandish reason, you know, I'm going to build the next Elon Musk beating spaceship. I just wanted a normal use case for this computer. I basically went for the one thing that was closest to my heart, and that came from a guy called Jerry in Florida. And the reason Jerry wanted this M1 Mac Mini was really straightforward. He's starting a new podcast with his friend, and the podcast is about being a new dad. And they needed a decent Mac to do the production on. And this works for two reasons. It means that this Mac is going on to help someone else build their own mini online empire. So it's done its job here, it's helped me build this thing, and now I can kind of pass the baton on to someone else. And secondly, the subject of the podcast is incredibly close to my heart because I'm a new dad as well. I can't wait to see what Jerry does with this, and I will share his podcast once it goes live, obviously. However, that does raise another question, which is, what is replacing this? And if you've missed my videos on this particular thing, let me just quickly show you. This is my base spec M2 Pro Mac Mini, which is playing the starring role in this mini music production studio. I've got loads planned with this over the next few months, so to avoid missing that content, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. However, if you missed the test that I did with this machine and Logic Pro, hang around and click the link at the end of this video because the results were unbelievable. And while you're watching that, this is going to Florida. Cheers, guys. And congrats, Jerry.